gentlemen, welcome to 340. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Junie Hoang. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold, so my voice is a little shot. But I'll do my best.
Don't worry about it. I'm fighting off postnasal drip, so we're in the same boat.
It's not a good boat to be in. It's on
not.
the Titanic. We're all sinking here.
That's true. But I would say you're supporting a good cause and making a new friend out of it, so it's a win-win. So glad to be in the boat with you. With that being said, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something, and at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still amount to something. Labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them you can break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 45 minutes of your time, have as much time as you like. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself and life growing up?
I would say that I had a pretty interesting life. I traveled a lot. I was originally born in Vietnam, and then I came over to the United States, and I moved to different states until we finally found a place that mimicked the weather of Vietnam, which is Texas. Very hot and humid down there. So we went to different states. We finally settled in Houston, and I started acting about 22 years ago. So I've been acting since. I do have a degree in Biomedical Science, and I love to study dance. I got a teaching certificate in dance. I guess a little bit about what I like to do. Believe it or not, I'm a big horror person. Horror, Horror. People always think I'm saying something else, but
it happens to me a lot too, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much I love to play sports. I love to play any sport with a racket and a ball. I love to go dancing. I love 70s, 80s, 90s music. I love to travel. I love the UFC, which is not very girly girl, but yeah, that's about me in a nutshell. I love my family. I love my friends. I love animals. People sometimes. That depends on who I encounter on that specific day. But I do like to people watch. I love nature. I like studying about the earth and climate change, and that's about me in a nutshell.
Yeah, it sounds like what I am, except for the UFC. I always consider UFC. A lot of people always think I'm a little backwards, but they would say I think the UFC is human cockfighting.
It is. You know, when I first saw it, I did not think that it could be legal because these are people that are actually bleeding. And how can that be legal? And what I found about the UFC was I always felt like they were underpaid for what they go through. I mean, here are these guys and girls getting literally their heads bashed in, and they're getting paid. You know, I wish they were paid more for what they had to go through. And I've gone I studied martial arts years ago. So I always appreciated martial arts. And I got into UFC because it was about technique and skill. So I got attracted to the UFC because I like to see all these different martial arts forms like jiu-jitsu, boxing, just every martial arts, mixed martial arts you can find was in the UFC. But then what I didn't like about it was that there was so much bloodshed.
Yeah.
And when I go live to the events, I'm so surprised when crowds are disappointed. Sometimes I feel like they don't really want to watch the skill or the technique of fighting. They just want to see blood on the dance floor, you know. And I get really disturbed when it's like, you know, you should really be watching this for the skill that it is. I mean, it is an art form, but I find that people go there because they just want to see blood, and it's not really why I watch the UFC.
No, I agree.
My voice is starting to So that's kind of my take on it. But I have seen a lot, and the funny thing is, I got my little niece into it, so now she knows more about it than I do, and she's much younger than I am.
No, I agree with you, and I guess it's the wrestling fan in me because I'm a big wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the blood. I'm not saying okay, I want to see every single match. Someone that's covered. But if you do it once in a while, it makes it special. But
right.
If you do it like every single time, it's kind of like, what am I watching?
Yeah, I mean, the UFC, they put on a fight almost every weekend or every 2 weeks. There's a fight. And I think they represent maybe 500 fighters, so they just wrote. And I often think, they're rotating these fighters, and these same 500 people rotate and fight. Imagine how much damage and pressure they put on their bodies. So my wish for the UFC is that they could get paid more for what they do.
No, same here. And while on the subject, before I go back to the other questions I do have for you, while on the subject, what do you think about having a real-life Dragon Ball Z-like tournament? And I think UFC is a perfect format. Get rid of the cage, just have a ring. You have all these different fighters, martial arts, boxing, or whatever. Just have a ring, and at the end of it, say, you're the world's strongest fighter, or the greatest fighter. What do you think about that concept? Instead of just beating the shit out of each other.
I've heard of the term Dragon Ball. You said it was Dragon Ball? I don't really even know what that means. I've heard of it. You basically said it's fighting but without an octagon? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Dragon Ball Z is one of the best animes. There's like Son Goku and Vegeta, and in their show they have the World Martial Arts Competition. And basically they get 16 of the best fighters. It's a giant ring, and there's no killing. The only way...
Is it people fighting at one time, or a bunch of people?
Two people start, and it's basically a tournament. And basically, at the end, you get a belt saying you're the world's greatest fighter. So I'm saying you have martial arts, you have boxing. Why not just have a ring, and the only way you win is by knocking your opponent out, or knocking them out of the ring. Instead of beating the shit out of each other till you get brain damage or whatever. Why not?
But it's a contact sport, right? So you're going to get hurt no matter what. So it would be similar to the UFC, because you're still, whether or not there's a ring, you're still two people going at it.
Right. But it's bigger, and also the point is to knock your opponent out of the ring. Instead of UFC, the point is knock your opponent unconscious. So I'm a little confused about the concept. So in Dragon Ball, that means that is there like a perimeter, and if you get, I see. So if you leave the ring, then you're done. Oh, I see. Well, that would be easy. If you feel like you're losing the fight, just run out of the ring. Right? I mean, technically, you could still get knocked out if you don't get out of the ring in time. That's true. You're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, or I know you said you heard of it. I have heard of it before, but I'm not. It sounds, when I hear Dragon Ball, I think of cosplay, video game. I'm not, and I'm not big on anime. Which is weird, because I've done a ton of anime voices. I've done so many anime voices, but I'm not a big fan of anime or cosplay or fantasy, elves, dragons. It's not for me, but I can see the appeal. Hey, don't knock it, you try it. Yeah, you know what? I used to be big into video games when I was younger. I used to play, you remember when they had the video game? My sister bought one recently, actually. She had a video arcade. Remember Miss Pac-Man and Galaga? She bought one of those. Centipede. So I enjoy watching,
those and playing the video games, but that's about as far as I probably have gone with video games.
Well, we should definitely hang out. I really want to play some video games, from classic ones.
From?
This is my next question I was going to ask you. Have you ever worked in retail? And when I used to work in retail, basically I'd be if I hesitate, I apologize.
I feel like I'm going to have a hacking cough episode.
Get a personal video message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shout-outs, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message, especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
I'm so bored.
Want to see something really cool?
Yeah!
Now you'll never be bored again with Loot Crate, a totally bodacious mystery box packed with awesome toys, radical games, and other surprises. And the best part is, you can get Loot Crate delivered right to your door. So don't delay. Ask your parents and order today.
Everything okay in there? Yeah, everything great. I love Loot Crate.
That was not included.
Hey, let me know when you're ready. You can jump right back into it.
I'm just going to do it. My voice isn't going to get better. Might as well do it. Okay.
Alright, so we left off when I was going to pass the show. Actually, before I pass the show, I do have a couple questions for you. But we did left off, Skype is all fizzy-fuzzy for people who want to know why it's skipping around. And so basically, now, lost my train of thought. Oh, have you ever worked in retail? And when we do hang out, I have my Xbox. And I was like, oh, well, I have an Xbox too. But my Xbox is special. I got it back in 2006, and my friend hacked it for me. So I have 100 Nintendo games, 120 Super Nintendo games, Sega games. So if you're into the classics, you should definitely play one day.
My sister bought the giant arcade, and it's got 10,000 games on it. Or is it 10,000 or 1,000? I don't remember. But she has all the classics from, the classics like Mario Brothers, the whole Pac-Man. They did a bunch of different Pac-Mans. Galaga, Centipede, Froggy. Was it Frogger?
Right.
Her arcade has about 1,000 of those games, and every time I come home, I play them because it brings back memories of when I used to play it. And let me tell you, I was so good at Miss Pac-Man. I literally could get to this past. I think it's past the Blue Maze. There's like 7 Blue Mazes. I got past those, and I used to work at Kroger, which is this supermarket. And my dad would come pick me up after work. And what I would do is I would play video games while I was waiting for him to pick me up. So I got really good at playing video games. But somehow, that was when I was much younger. Now it's morphed so much. The video game industry has changed so much that I just didn't keep up with it. And I'm sure if I did, I would get hooked on it again, which is probably why I don't want to. I want to stay away from it because I know that if I start playing with it, I'll get hooked on it. And I don't want to get hooked on video games. So I definitely see the appeal because when I was younger, I got so... It consumed me, the video games. And if I let that happen to me now, I would just never get anything done. I can understand why people get so excited about them.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize. I was going to say something, but I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
With Skype, so it's not always going to be perfect. But, with the whole video game market, I'm not really into the Nintendo Wii. But funny about the Wii, because you have the double controllers, is that was supposed to come out back in the late 80s, the double controllers, but they thought it wasn't going to sell. It was going to hurt the video game market. But it's funny that the idea came 30 years later. I don't know, I like the normal controller when you're holding it like this. I don't want to say, okay, this is up and down. It's
back when I was playing them, they were very simple. You just had a joystick. And now there's all these, kick, punch, but I don't even know what they are today because I don't keep in touch with video games today. But they were much simpler back in the old day, with Atari. Did Nintendo come out when Atari was out? I remember the first big one was Atari.
Yes, that was the 70s. Nintendo was about 83, 85.
Okay. Yeah, Atari was real big. And I remember it was Pac-Man, that everyone who got Atari got Pac-Man. And it was so simple. I think people now expect more, so they have to get more creative and to keep your mind busy. But back then it was just, up, down, across, and that was it. And it was much more simplified.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, before I ask you about your acting career, is, did you ever do any sports growing up? And did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids? Sorry, not into the whole human pyramid stuff.
I played tennis. When I was in high school, I played on the tennis team. And then I got into college. I played for about... I just took classes. I didn't actually play for the team. But I did play for the team in high school. Which is funny because tennis is one of those games where they always say that when you serve, a tennis serve, that means you had an advantage because serving is supposed to be something that helps your game. But for me, serving was the worst part of my game. I dreaded having to serve. Most people be like, oh, you're at the advantage because you're serving. Not for me. If I'm serving, I'm losing that point.
Right.
I was not a good server, which amazes me how I got as far as I did. I played singles A tennis, which is the top spot on the tennis team. And for someone who couldn't serve, I'm like, how did I get here? Is my competition really that bad? How did I get this spot? Because I was terrible at serving. I mean, when I served the ball, it was like a 2-year-old serving the ball. So I played tennis, and from that, I played badminton, which is better suited for me. So I just loved playing sports with a racket and a ball. There was something about the connection that I really, just the flow and the connection of the racket to the ball that I really liked. And of course, I did martial arts for about 2 years, and I loved that. And I think there was another part to your question. What did you ask me about?
Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids?
Oh, in dance I did. So I used to be with a dance company, and the thing I didn't like about the human pyramid was I was always the one on top because I'm so small. And, I'm only 5'2", and I barely am over 100 pounds. So every time we do a human pyramid, it was like, toss her on top. And I don't like that because I'm afraid of heights. I'm like, keep me on the bottom. They're like, no, you're great on top because you're so small and we can't feel you on top. So that was the main thing I didn't like. I always had this fear of getting dropped.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't like that.
Well, did the pyramid ever crumble, or was it a big pyramid, small pyramid?
It never crumbled. I was never heavy enough to make it crumble for my weight. So, no, I was fortunate it never crumbled. But I dreaded it every time. Every time I started seeing them getting into that formation, I was like, oh, God, here goes again. I have to get back on top. That's the human pyramid you were referring to, right?
Right.
Yes. I did not like that at all. I didn't like being hoisted up all the way to the top. And I mean, I knew if I fell, I'd have a lot of bodies to land on, but who likes to fall? You know?
That's true. I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
That's all. I think that's all part of the cosplay universe and pyramid building.
Would you be in? Well, I'm looking for a group of people. I was trying to get a handful of girls together to do some YouTube records. Would you be interested in doing some? Basically, it's a giant hangout. You do the different pyramids, but also it's like I said, giant hangout. You're just hanging out and having fun.
Are you asking me to do another human pyramid?
If you're okay with it.
Yeah, as long as I don't get hurt. I'm older now, so I really don't want to inflict any permanent bodily injury. I might still need this body for the next couple of years.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But basically, go ahead.
I'm trying something new.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I said I'm always up for trying something new.
But basically, there's a whole bunch of different pyramids I always wanted to do. But I never got the chance to do them because I was called a loser and people don't do pyramids. But I was like, there's a lot of people like saying, oh, let's reenact the Dumbo pyramid. Basically, it's like the voiceover stuff, but you're actually doing it. Like, you would be the bottom, and then you have 3 friends on top of you, and you're just reenacting the beginning parts of the pyramid. And it's basically, there's a whole bunch of different pyramids out there, and the point is, it's like the Guinness Book of World Records, but it's kind of like the Ice Bucket Challenge. You guys do the pyramid. They said, okay, we reenacted Dumbo.
But you're saying do this in person?
Yeah.
And how would you get everyone together?
Well, I'm looking for to do like certain people from New York. Say if you're ever in New York, then okay, we do the Pyramid Club in New York, and then if you're ever in LA, then it'd be like the LA Pyramid. Then we do the competition, say New York versus LA. Here's the pyramid, and then you can do like see if the New York girls can beat the LA girls, or if the LA girls. So basically, it doesn't make a competition out of it.
So you're doing a geographical pyramid.
Kind of. I know.
I bet you'll get a lot of people from LA to do that.
Hey,
people don't like to do experimental things like that.
Hey, if you want to help me out, I appreciate it. I didn't mean to impose on you.
Get a couple more LA girls and guys out here.
Well, if you know any, maybe you can hook me up.
People in LA?
Well, any cute-looking girls.
Do a pyramid for you, huh? I'm afraid I don't have that many friends out here. Most of my friends and family are back in Texas. I'm very secluded out here. I have, a handful of friends, and they would have to coincidentally like to do pyramids.
Well, we can see how it goes. I didn't mean it. There's a Skype delay.
No, this is interesting. We've talked everything from video games to pyramids.
Yeah, I'm a loser. I know.
No, you know what? I was kind of a nerd geek myself when I was in school. People used to make fun of me because they did an interview with me for the school yearbook, and they did a profile on me because I graduated second of my class. So they did a profile on me, and they asked me, "What is one of your favorite hobbies?" And I said, "Doing my homework." And the cheerleaders just were relentless. They were so mean to me, and they said, "Oh God, what a nerd." But so what? I like doing homework, but they made fun of me for saying that. The cheerleaders did.
Hey, look at it like this. Look at where you are now, and look at where they are. So I think the homework really helped you out.
I'm not sure where they're at. I don't really keep up with them, but I do have on social media. You can find them. I friended a couple of them, but the ones that didn't really like me in high school still do not friend me.
Right.
They hold that grudge, I guess. But Yeah, and it's funny when you're younger, you do a lot of crazy things, and you find as you get older, you end up, even though you become more distant from people, you actually end up with having more in common with people as you get older.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the last subject I'm going to ask you, well, last question anyway I was going to ask you, wrapping up. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your honest opinion? And after being a guest, how do you feel now? And also, is there any social media our fans can follow you on?
So when I was first approached by you, what I usually like to do is I usually like to do a little check to make sure you're legit, because there's so many people that contact, and they're So I first looked you up, and I knew that you were legit, and I felt extremely comfortable, and I knew I was going to be comfortable. And now after doing the interview, I definitely am comfortable, and especially because I'm sitting at home doing it out of my hallway. I feel like I'm really having a conversation one-on-one with you. So yeah, I feel really good about the interview. And the second thing you asked me was what my social media.
Yeah, how can people follow you on social media?
Oh, I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Twitter. I don't do MySpace anymore, so don't even try contacting me there. And everything's under my name, Junie Hoang, JUNIEHOANG. And I have a website, myname.com, juniehoang.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you.